We have been evicted for 19 days in the pandemic, so we've been living homeless since. And your socks wet? Okay. I don't know, I just put it some type of way where I just actually be enough comfortable where I feel like I'm in the bed or something.
When I wake up in the morning, I'm sitting in the front seat of my car. Realization sets in, okay, we've been out here all night long. It don't have to be like that. We tried our best to do our part, and the landlord didn't want to compromise with us.
John and Margaret Eady have been living out of their car since they were evicted from their home on September 29th. They said they were unable to make rent after John's hours were reduced at his trucking job.
And we was comfortable. Then here come Mr. Pandemic. Everything just went from comfortable to uncomfortable real fast.
This is me, Margaret Eady, and my husband John. We're being evicted. We just needed a little bit more time in August, and we could have gave her money. We don't, right now, have nowhere to live. We're going to be out homeless. So I did everything that I was supposed to do. I tried to go through the declaration, the CDC moratorium, and she won. So this is where we ended up at.
Your destination is on the right.
After being homeless for weeks, Margaret is urgently looking for a new home.
It's got to be this one right here, 26. She says, go by, take a look at it, and then call back and they'll ask me some pre-qualified questions about it. But it definitely looks all right to me because it's better than where we are now in the car.
So did you get a chance to drive by and take a look at it?
Yeah, I'm sitting in front of the home right now as we speak.
Okay. And what's your name?
Margaret.
How soon are you looking to move into a home?
As soon as possible. Right now.
So are you in a lease where you're living at right now?
No, as a matter of fact, we're not. We're actually homeless.
Okay, and so where are you currently living?
In our vehicle.
Yeah, unfortunately, when we check the court records and see an eviction, unfortunately we can't help you.
Okay. Thank you. Just like always. So, what now? It's no compassion. And if you hear, she talked about if we check the court record, then they're going to see the eviction and they can't help us. And that's going to be to every property that we go. So I'm going to just go to a totally different realty company because that was Cozy Homes or whatever they call it. Cozy Homes. I wish I had a cozy home. So I'm just going to go to the next realtor now and try to find somebody else. I see a property that's listed on Zillow at 127 Burns Street in the city of Hampton.
Yes, ma'am. The qualifications are that you be on your job for a year, not having judgments for rent or collections for utilities. We do check credit, rental history.
Okay. So one of them strikes us out because we have an eviction. That we're dealing with right now. We're like living in our car.
Oh no.
Yes, ma'am.
You
so
can go to this place.
I know it's going to be another no. This gets so frustrating. And I just got to keep looking because I just can't sit around. I can't sit around in this car all day trying to keep a level head, and then people don't know that they have your lives in their hands. All they got to do is just say yes. Yes, we'll work with you.
In early September, the CDC passed a nationwide eviction moratorium, stating that landlords can't force tenants out of their homes for failure to pay rent, except under certain circumstances. However, in Virginia, eviction hearings have actually increased. There's been roughly 35,000 of them in the state since the moratorium was enacted. Many of these renters, like Margaret and John, have nowhere to go.
Hi, this is Phil Story from the Eviction Legal Helpline. I'm an attorney trying to reach you to see if we can answer any questions and provide you with legal advice. Before the pandemic, we were getting probably 5 calls a day. During the pandemic now, we're probably getting 15 to 20 calls a day.
Phil's story helps tenants like Margaret understand their rights when they're facing an eviction. These days, he's spending a lot of time helping renters navigate the CDC's moratorium, which is supposed to stop most evictions until 2021.
One of the things that surprises people is they think that if the law says someone is protected, that they will actually be protected. And it's not that easy. There's a lot of discretion that judges have around the process as well as how they interpret what somebody's rights are. A fair chunk of our callers, if they're eligible for the CDC's protections, it does protect them and they're not being evicted. Another decent-sized chunk, the landlord wants to go ahead anyway, and so you're going to have to probably file something in court and ask a judge to step in.
In court, renters present a form stating that they're protected from eviction under the moratorium. However, Margaret says this didn't help her case.
When I went to court, it was absolutely traumatizing. When I presented the judge the moratorium, he just looked at it. I mean, it was just like it was absolutely nothing to him.
Landlords are far more likely to have lawyers than tenants. So a tenant has to ask a judge to intervene and stop an eviction. And that's difficult. If you're not a lawyer and the landlord shows up with a lawyer, the deck is kind of stacked against you.
Knowing that we really don't have any rights and being that she's a landlord and she can hire an attorney and we can't afford to get an attorney, I knew that we were going to end up on the streets.
As the eviction crisis grows, it's fallen on grassroots organizations across the country to educate people about their rights. Tidewater Tenants' Rights has been visiting at-risk communities to spread the word about their protections under the CDC moratorium.
Hi, my name is Logan. I'm from Tidewater Tenants' Rights. We're just spreading information about the local eviction crisis.
In this complex, actually on Tuesday, there are going to be 2 people with eviction court cases.
They say there's a kind of moratorium lottery going on, meaning where you live could determine how harshly or leniently the laws are interpreted.
People are largely confused on what the moratorium actually means. You know, we were confused about it ourselves.
In this area, it seems like a lot of the judges are harsher than in other areas of Virginia. So even though we had this form signed and gave it to a judge in a Virginia Beach court, the judge decided not to honor it.
If you decided to live in the wrong area, then you could be out on the street.
For now, Margaret and John are staying in their car so they can save up every penny for a new home.
Let's just park in the front right now, husband, and then we'll move to the side and then it gets a little bit darker. And then usually we just try to hook up something to watch so it'll feel a little bit normal, like home or whatever. I'm out here and being concerned about somebody's going to come and hurt us, or are we going to get sick?
This CDC order, it offers, 4 months of protection to a lot of folks, or should, and that's great, but it's just sort of moving the date of reckoning a little bit further down the road. When those measures run out, it's going to be hundreds of thousands of people in Virginia that are on the edge of eviction.
On December 31st, the CDC's eviction moratorium expires, leaving millions across the country in the same potential situation as Margaret and John.
I'll be tired in my body like I am right now, but I can't let that get to me.
There are people that are out here that literally needs a place, a roof. You know what I'm saying? This is where this is our roof, and luckily we have this car, or else we probably have to sleep under a tree, literally.